Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, May 10th.
Welcome on Pacific Academy News.
I'm Lisa Bo.
I'm Anton Liu.
We had two students that worked hard in last month. Teachers chose them to award their effort. They are Jensen Yue and Justin Lee. Congratulations to them. Our reporter Peggy will interview Jensen Yue to listen to his feeling about it.
Thank you, Lisa and Antoine and Peggy. I'm the reporter of our PA News. Today, I'm going to interview students of the month. Hi, Justin. Can I ask you some questions about the students of the month?
Yes.
The first question is, what's your feeling about you get the students of the month?
Well, I'm very proud of myself, and I'm very happy to be a PA student of the month again. And I really want to thank the teacher who helped me this year, and I really want to thank the students who support my events.
The next question is which part do you think is the best you do can affect you become the students of the month?
First, I did my homework and review my test on time, and I also spend a lot of times on the club activity, which I'm really interested in, and and keep a good relationship between students with another students and other teachers.
I see. So many students in PA want to become the students of the month. So I want to ask you, what experience can you share to students?
Like you need to find what is your interest and maybe thinking about start a club or join a club related to your interest and spend times on it. And remember to have a good breakfast, afternoon, and lunch every day. If you didn't do so, you will harm your own body.
So you mean we need to keep our body healthy?
Yeah, health is always the first.
Okay, congratulations, get the students of the month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Jensen, can I ask you some question about the students of the month?
Yes, sure.
The first question is, what's your feeling about when you get the students of the month?
So at first, I'm so surprised that I got the student of month, and I'm very happy and very exciting that I got it. And also as I saw before, I think maybe I got the student of month. Maybe it will be more longer time, maybe after 1 year or 2 years, and I will got it. But I'm very happy that I can got the student of the month. And thank for every teacher that vote for me and send it to them.
And as we know, a lot of students want to be the students of the month. Like, what do you think the best part you do is impact you become students of the month?
So as a comment on the form is that I'm shy. I don't think I'm shy, and I didn't want to express me on the class. And after I got the producer job in this Chinese class, and I know that I can show my leadership, and I can show my ability to people and to show myself. So I try my best to lead everybody in the new broadcast and do their things, and then I just got a student of month. And I want to share to student that just try to show yourself to everybody, not just hide yourself or just.
So you want to tell students, if you want to get the students of the month, you need to show your leadership or
show your ability, show your
sure.
own skills, special skills.
Final question is, what experience do you think can share to students to become the students of the month?
Yeah, sure. So I think this become a student of month. The most important part is to have high GPA. This is the first part, and also to know that to really to help the students that they need help, and to or either to help the teacher, and if you have any question to teacher, or you have some question on the homework or some learning part, you can ask teacher, and also you can have a very good communications with teacher, and you will get student marks. And my experience, I think I have a very good relationship with everybody in the school.
Okay, congratulations, you get the Students of the Month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go back to Antoine and Lisa in the studio.
On Tuesday, we had a teacher appreciation lunch, and it was really good. All the teachers were really happy. Last week, Mr. Chun organized a soccer competition. There was 4 teams, and they all did really well, and they had a really fun time.
On April 29th, our school started a soccer competition outside on the field. There are 4 groups joined this game, and the rule of this game is same as normal soccer competition, but there are only 3 members in each group, and the game has 2 10-minute halves. And we will get the result of the competition soon.
In March 2018, the trade war between America and China began. This trade war influences a lot of things.
Now let's go to Derek and Rebecca for a great discussion.
U.S. and China's trade war is a huge issue right now. It's cause American and Chinese people have to cost more money for their life. And China are trying to make a trade deal with the U.S. government for both sides get the most benefit. However, the government announced that they will raise the tariff of $200 billion from 10% to 25%. So we invited Mr. Cook to join us to talk about this current event. Hi, Mr. Cook. Welcome to our PN News. And I know you know a lot about the economy stuff. So right now the trade war between the U.S. government and China is still happened. What do you think about this trade war?
What do I think about the trade war? Well, I don't know if it's actually a full-blown trade war at this point. It seems to be that the countries have been in negotiations with each other since 2017, when the United States started to do a lot of investigative work into Chinese violations. What I mean by that is China's a part of the World Trade Organization. In order to be a member of the World Trade Organization, you have to follow certain guidelines in order to trade with the rest of the world. As far as I understand, China, well, let me back up a second. So many of the kids already know that I went to China this summer, so now I know everything about China because I went there once. But I did actually go to the U.S. consulate when I was in Guangzhou, and was given a lecture by foreign service workers on the trade war. And it was enlightening because they told us things that our own government and our country don't tell us about things that we were doing that were probably inappropriate, but also what China was doing that was inappropriate. So it was pretty cool to learn firsthand from people who are actually on the ground negotiating with Chinese officials.
I also heard that the U.S. government announced that they will raise the tariff from 10% to 25%.
So what happened with that was there were basically 2 rounds. This is the 3rd round of tariffs or promised tariffs on Chinese imports. It totals about 500 billion in goods overall. The 3rd round that was kind of on suspension was about 256 billion in tariffs. Mm-hmm. And the reason why President Trump and his regime have said that they're going to raise them as of tonight, I think at midnight or something, is because China backed off some of the promises that they made earlier in the deal. Yeah. Again, when I speak again from a U.S. perspective. This is the news that I get. And I would probably suspect, being a history teacher, that there is some bias in the news that we are allowed to get. So curious to find out what you guys think about, like, what are your friends saying back home? What do your parents think about this? Rebecca, what have you heard?
I think like if America made the tariff from 10% to 25%, there must have a lot of family there didn't have enough food or enough coal.
Okay.
I also think that if these things will happen, they will cost more money for their life.
Yeah, for consumers in both countries, because what will happen is if we impose these tariffs on goods that are coming into the United States, then China will react in kind, and they will also impose tariffs on U.S. goods going into China. Ultimately, these costs will be passed on, like Rebecca said, they will be passed on to families. So we will bear the cost of this, and it will be, most goods that we buy will be 20-25% more.
Yeah, and I have do some research from the Chinese website, and in the website they say the Chinese government will pay for the businessmen for the tax.
Right, that's what I've read too recently. Several places that it hasn't really been passed on so much to the people who are exporting from China, that the government has been picking up the tab. We've also subsidized some of our exporters as well. I know that back about a year ago, Trump subsidized the soybean farmers because China canceled their soybean orders on, I think it was either the first or the second round of tariffs that were put in place as a response to U.S. tariffs. They canceled large orders of soybean crops. And so those either had to be destroyed or shipped to other countries. And I know Donald Trump in his regime decided to subsidize our farmers here, to actually pay them for the crop. So I know ultimately this will affect the gross domestic product in both countries. It will slow down growth in both countries, and it will affect global trade worldwide, because we are the two biggest economies in the world.
Yeah, and I also heard that too, that the Chinese government deliver to buy the soybean, to buy less, and the U.S. government want to the Chinese buy more soybean.
Yeah, so there have been promises that have been made. One of the promises that the Chinese government made was that they were going to order over the next decade or so $1 billion, I believe, in new agricultural products.
Mm-hmm. So, your opinion is, if I understand your opinion, is mean China destroy the rules first, and because they destroy to stop buy some less soybean.
I think you simplify what I said. Let me back up, and I'll summarize for you.
Yeah.
If we go back a decade and we look at the growth that China has experienced, and you're talking about a GDP rate of 7-8% annually, it's been an economic miracle since they injected capitalism into their society. Like I said before, they are part of the World Trade Organization, and they have to follow certain rules in order to engage in trade internationally. Because people wanted China to be successful, the whole world wanted China to be successful. Oftentimes, people would turn their back when China would violate some of these World Trade Organization rules. I'll give you an example. One of the things that is difficult is that because China is a communist country still, they have a communist government, oftentimes they will give subsidies to businesses that don't make a profit. If you are engaging in trade with other countries that are purely capitalist in nature, they don't have subsidies from the government in order to prop up businesses. And so what that does is it creates uneven trade, because sometimes companies in China don't even need to make a profit because the government will pay them no matter what. Because China still promises 100% employment, they oftentimes will just give companies, even if they're losing money, they'll give them money because they employ a certain number of people in a district. So subsidies are a big problem. That's one of the things that the US government wants China to work on. They've promised that they will. However, you can't change a system like that big and that's been going on for 50 years that fast.
Okay, agree, but I have a question. Which side will get more benefit from this trade war?
Okay, Rebecca. Well, I think ultimately tariffs will hurt both sides. What I've seen happen recently is that the tariffs seem to be hurting China's economy a little bit more than it's damaging the United States economy. I know 2 or 3 days ago, one of the major stock markets in China dropped 6% in one night. Last night, I looked at the markets this morning. All of them were in the red, which is actually negative in the United States. I know red in China is actually good for you guys. But I think ultimately these tariffs are meant to force China to capitulate or give in to U.S. demands for them to make some adjustments to their trade regulations. I think if that happens, I think it will benefit. I think the end game will benefit both countries. I think freer trade, fairer trade is the goal here. And I know that a lot of people don't always agree with Trump in the way he does things. But from what I've read, what I understand, and what I was told on the ground in China, this will actually make trade fair and freer. So Rebecca, what I'm interested to know is, so you just got here from Beijing. As I mentioned earlier, I traveled to China in the summer, but that's quite some time ago now. What's going on the street in Beijing? Are people talking about this? Do you find that there are less U.S. goods in the stores? Are prices for U.S. goods higher? I mean, what's your take on this?
I don't think Chinese people know about that, so they didn't talk about that. So Derek, how about your family?
My family doesn't talk about this with me. Because they think I just need to study and don't worry about economy.
Yeah.
That's too far away from me.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I actually think that China will get more worse, will become more dangerous.
Dangerous or prosperous?
Possible.
I think so too. I think ultimately this will be good for both countries. I think that the sentiment or the feeling that I got when I was in China was that China wants to change. It's a matter of changing a system so big, so fast. The United States wants it done today. China says we will slowly do this over time, right? Mm-hmm. But ultimately, in the end, free trade benefits everybody. Fair trade benefits everybody, right?
Yeah, and I also heard the news, Liu He. Did you know Liu He?
I don't know what that is.
Liu He is a vice president for the economy for China.
Okay.
And he will come today to...
What? Oh yes.
He will come.
It was the fact that you pronounced it correctly. I know what it looks like in writing.
Yeah. Yes, he will come today,
Yeah.
come to the US and discuss about this. And let's say this meeting will be last time they will meet each other and talk about these things.
Yeah.
I think it's end game for this trade war.
Yeah. One of the bright spots that I saw today was that Donald Trump received a handwritten letter from President Xi, and I think they're ultimately going to meet. I think that will be good for both sides. So perhaps the tariffs will make both sides negotiate faster and put an end to this trade war soon. So do you think that will be good, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why?
I'm just, I don't know about that more, so I just listen about you, so I think it will be good. Yeah.
You believe what I say?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay. Thank you for this to join us discussions.
It was my pleasure. It was a pleasure to talk with both of you and to gain a little bit of insight from your perspectives too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to watch our current event. Now let's go back to Antoine and Lisa.
Thank you, Rebecca and Derek, for having such a great discussion.
Now let's go to Albert to learn about our new vocabulary word.
Hi students, this week's word from Mr. Kopis is verbose. Its definition is using more words than one needed, or containing more words than necessary. There are two examples for this word. The first one is the teacher helped the student make his writing less verbose by shortening sentences and taking out unnecessary words. The second one is the verbose speaker gave a speech that lasted over 1 hour. Thank you and see you next week. Now let's go back to Antoine and Lisa in the studio.
What's up, brother? Do you wanna be rich like me? If you do, all what you have to do is to use Mr. Kopis' vocabulary wisdom.
Now, let's switch to Rebecca and Max's entertainment section.
Thank you, Antoine and Lisa. This is entertainment segment. My name is Max Ryu, and I'm so sad because Rebecca cannot join us because of she's sick. Let's go to talk about BTS. All BTS fans were excited for new concert in May 4th in Rose Bowl, and it sold out very fast. In my case, my older sister loves BTS, so I should listen BTS music a lot. I'm not excited because of those reasons, but it is good news for BTS fans. I prefer Idol of BTS because it was most popular and it represents Korean tradition well. This is our entertainment segment, and thank you for watching it. And let's go back to Antoine and Lisa in the studio.
Thank you, Max, for your entertainment report.
Now let's go to Sean to learn about Korean culture.
Hi, this is Sean from Global Corner. Today we have a special guest, Kendra. Hi Kendra, can you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Hi, I'm Kendra. I'm a junior in Pacific Academy and I'm 17 years old and I came here last year.
Oh, nice. And then, if PA student visit Korea, what place are you going to recommend them to go?
I would recommend that they go to Hongdae. Hongdae is a city where there's a lot of good restaurants and like fancy malls and outlets, and there's a lot of places where you can hang out with your friends.
Also, May 5th was Children's Day in Korea. Can you explain me more about that day, please?
So Children's Day is a day where the children get a day off and they get to spend their time outdoors. Many activities are held outdoors, such as parades, amusement parks, and such. Not only is it a day where the children get a day off, but it's also a day where the parents are appreciated for improving the lives of the children. Some traditional activities that are held are taekwondo demonstrations, and it is also a day where the children are gifted from their parents.
Okay, nice. So, thank you for the interview, Kendra, and then let's go back to Antoine and Lisa in the studio.
Thank you, Sean, for teaching us about the Korean culture.
Let's go to the weather with Derek.
Hi, welcome to Weather Focus. Today is May 10th. Today's weather is raining. The temperature is through 14 degrees Celsius to 18 degrees Celsius. And Saturday and Sunday will both be cloudy, but the weekends still have some possible to be raining, so please be prepared for that. And the temperature will be warmer than today. The temperature will through 14 degrees Celsius to 21 degrees Celsius. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Now let's go back to Antoine and Lisa.
Thank you, Derek, for telling us the weather.
Now let's go to Alex to know about the birthday and lunch announcement.
Thank you, Lisa and Antoine. Hi, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to announce next week's lunch menu first. So on Monday, we have hamburger or french fries. Tuesday, we have teriyaki chicken or teriyaki beef with rice. Wednesday, we have bulgogi or mushroom chicken with rice. Thursday, we have popcorn chicken or fried chicken with rice. Friday, we have spicy pork or chicken with rice. Next, let's go to birthday announcements. We would like to say congratulations to these following people. They are 17, Tony, John, and Ariel Abzari. I wish you have a wonderful time on your special day. Thank you and happy birthday. Now let's go to Antoine and Lisa in the studio.
Thank you, Alex, for your birthday and lunch announcement.
And also, thank you for watching our PA News. Hope you enjoyed our show.
This is Antoine and Lisa.
See you next week. Bye bye.